promoting racial, environmental, and community equity, and I would like to add through service and conservation corps.
So my question this week is, how do we turn this conversation about racial equity into an aspirational conversation, a joyous conversation? It's not about what's wrong, but it's about what's possible.
Since the age of 17, I have been in and out of jail more times than I care to remember. My first night in prison, I first realized that all a man has at that moment is his thoughts and inhibitions. Whatever he decides to do with his time will define his future.
After about 2 months of searching, I get an email from my old supervisor about the GREENCORPS Chicago program. I skimmed through the job description, and there were 2 things that stood out the most. No experience needed, and criminal backgrounds welcome. This looked like a job for me. So I went to the GREENCORPS open house. Aside from the cool projects, I was interested in the opportunity to build a career regardless of employment barriers. I was ready to succeed, so I accepted the challenge right then and there.
And I think about, the first issue, the disconnection, the divide. I think about people worried about the future. The question for me is always, how do we counteract those things? How do we bring folks together? And I can't think of a better way to bring young people like Michael together, whether it's from south and west side of Chicago, whether it's from rural West Virginia, than through national service. If young people can come together and work hard and volunteer and serve and get to know each other, I think the impact that will have on them for the rest of their lives is extraordinary. And short of those opportunities to bring people together, I think we all stay in our silos, we all stay in our communities, and don't have those human connections.
I believe core work is going to transform our neighborhoods, transform our communities, and transform our young people.
The only thing that's really going to matter, the only thing that will last and persevere, will be what service you provide to other people. Everything else is fleeting and ephemeral. In fact, I believe that in my heart of hearts that the only path to true contentment, the people who have met in this world, who have inner peace, are the people who understand that service is what this life is all about.
We are born, when we are born, we all have the task of building a life stretching out in front of us. But we are not all born into the same workshop environment. And this is very predictable by race.
People start in different places and face different barriers based on historical and current, conscious and unconscious, and systemic and random division and bias.
So people of color, black people in particular, we are more than our history of oppression. The oppression did happen, and it is happening, and we are more than the story of our oppression, and we want to always remember that. We ourselves need to remember that, Native American people need to remember that, and they need to act from a different place, right? And so we don't want to reduce ourselves or other people to one story. On the other hand, we want to be aware of the history so that we don't misconstrue other people's potential.
Trust and believe. I know the world we live in, where capital and status somehow, some way, time and time again, outweighs a person's character and disposition. I know what it means to be told no, not because you aren't qualified, but because you don't fit in someone's ideal vision, or demographic. But more importantly, I know what it is to feel hopeless and helpless. Because your generation is dying at a rapid rate, and there isn't a single thing you can do about it. I stand before you as a man who has led a full life thus far. For I have experienced triumph as much as I have tragedy. But I'm here. And I will continue to be here until there is nothing left to give of myself.
Just from different backgrounds, even though we have the same purpose and same focus for the future, we still look at it differently, and I think that's something we still have to figure out. But it was very interesting and very cool to learn about.
I learned a lot, like about racism too, about us all coming together as one, and not holding going to like what had happened in the past.
I worry, obviously not just about education, but I worry about our democracy frame. I worry about us coming apart a little bit here. And if we had many, many more, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of additional opportunities for young people who wanted to serve, who wanted to volunteer, who wanted to give back. Not necessarily a mandatory thing, but just had that option, had that availability. I think not just the actual real work they would do for the communities they served, but for the rest of their life, those experiences and those relationships will make our country, make our democracy stronger.
We are a unique group of people. Even though it can take a lot out of us, we still love what we do. The service we all provide not only gives life to our world, but it also gives meaning to life. Thank everybody.